Hey, and good morning, everybody. Meteorologist Craig Majeski back with you here on the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. Hope you're having a great day. Wanted to give you a severe weather update here on what's going to be a pretty active weather day, covering a big, large part of the country. We had some pretty active weather overnight that moved through with some showers and thunderstorms and some flooding rains where they don't need it across Oklahoma, unfortunately. Right now, the storms are on the move. They're kind of moving into Arkansas. So we're going to kind of break down everything, what we're expecting for today. Looks like the tornado risk will be relatively low, but still not zero, running a large part of the country, about 2%. We're going to break it all down for you here for today and kind of get you weather-wise and weather prepared here for this afternoon's and evening's events. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Let's go ahead and get this thing up and let's get cracking, shall we, as we're looking at the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. Again, we're covering a pretty large area here. Even the marginal risk goes all the way up in here to Vermont and stretches all the way back down here toward Texas. Very large area there. Obviously, where the greatest threat is going to be with the slight risk of that enhanced area running right through here. That's going to be very high. We're going to be seeing some very strong gusty winds into that area. We're talking winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. And then the orange areas, maybe getting up to 60 or 70 miles per hour in here, as we're going to be watching a fairly complex situation. We got basically a cold upper level low that's going to be kind of pinching off here, as we've got what's called an omega block across the country. And we're going to have two cutoff lows, one in the west and one in the east here as we go into this upcoming weekend. So let's go ahead and break down the categories here for today. Again, I want to illustrate the point that the tornado risk is low, but not zero. So we're kind of talking here from areas near Cincinnati, coming all the way back here, down here toward Texas, and all the way through in this green zone, even coming into areas of northwest Georgia. We're talking Huntsville, we're talking Birmingham, up near Bowling Green. Memphis is under the gun there, back toward Alexandria, Louisiana, Austin, Texas, all into that area there for that 2% chance for tornadoes. So again, relatively low, but not bad. The bigger threat today is going to be that wind threat, obviously running about 30%. See how big of the area this is covering here, from Kentucky coming all the way back down toward Texas. So a very large area that's an enhanced area there, going to be running into that higher wind threat here today. So 60 mile per hour winds plus potentially into that zone as that storms begin to develop. We're talking about late afternoon. I'm going to show you the model data here in just a second on that. And then the hail threat will be concentrated mostly back toward the Texas area, which has been really for weeks on end. You see that here running about 30% here across the central areas of Texas. So we're talking Killeen and Austin and areas down almost near San Antonio getting into that as well. Everybody else kind of looking at that general yellow area there. So we're talking into Mississippi, into Tennessee, Nashville, getting into that yellow area, and then getting up toward Cincinnati, Lexington, and up near Zanesville, Ohio, and Wheeling, Ohio. So that is going to be our highest risk there for your severe weather. Now, the day two, it does back off here a bit as we look at your day two outlook here, just looking for tomorrow. Mostly just a marginal risk as we'll start to back things off. But today, it's going to be pretty busy, especially going into the late afternoon and into the evening hours. So I want to talk about the model data. We're going to break this down for you here and show you what's kind of going on. Again, we're kind of responding to an upper level low, excuse me, that is diving down to the south on this. So let's go ahead and bring this over here as we take a look at this, as we got this kind of looping right now, but you can see these complex areas of storms that are going to be developing here throughout the day. I'm going to let this loop all the way through and I'm going to stop it, excuse me, as I go ahead and take you through this. So again, we've got a big upper level low that's kind of pinching off and coming in here. So right now for this morning, it's not bad. You got these areas of thunderstorms here, and the upper level low is back up here. So this is kind of diving down here to the south. The air mass out ahead of it's pretty warm and pretty buoyant, okay? So it doesn't going to take much to kind of fire this off. So as that cooler air kind of plows into that warm air, we're going to fire off those showers and thunderstorms here. And you're looking at a pretty good squall line here starting to develop here across Kentucky and into Tennessee and stretching back toward Louisiana and Texas here as we go into the late afternoon hours. This is at 4 o'clock. And as we go toward 5, things really start to get going here. After 5 o'clock, notice by the time we get toward 8, 9 o'clock tonight, we've got storms here across Kentucky, back toward Tennessee, Alabama, North Georgia, stretching all the way back in toward Texas. So we're going to have some pretty good line of showers and thunderstorms as that low feature sitting right back here starts digging that jet stream energy kind of riding through there. So we're going to have some higher level winds that are going to be driving through there. Again, not a lot of wind shear with this stuff as far as the dynamics for tornadoes, but it's still enough there that we may see a few isolated for today. Now this moves on off toward the east. It's going to be a stormy night there across the south, begins to settle on down. and then this thing begins to move on off toward the east. We see things slowly begin to improve as this moves to the east coast. Again, we'll deal with a marginal risk for tomorrow as this goes throughout the day on Saturday, and then slowly begins to clear on out. But that upper level low will be kind of pitching here across portions of Kentucky by the time we head into late in the day tomorrow or Saturday going into Sunday morning. So that's what we're expecting for right now. Now, yesterday wasn't too bad. We had basically about 159 reports, a lot of wind reports, and that's what I'm expecting here for today. A lot of wind damage reports with this, probably some hail reports with this as well. So I'm expecting a little more activity today than what we had yesterday for comparison. Now, yesterday we only had one tornado, so hopefully that'll be what we'll see here for this afternoon. As we're kind of seeing, again, those showers and thunderstorms that are continuing there to move through Oklahoma and Arkansas here for this morning. And let me get this, make sure this thing is updating because it doesn't look like it has been enabled. So we'll just update it here real quick. As you can kind of see, those storms pedaling out a little bit, and they will. We're kind of early morning, kind of stabilizing a little bit. But with that daytime heating, we're going to fire up some more thunderstorms and get it up and hot and going again as we're kind of watching that frontal system that's going to be pushing off toward the east and firing off those storms here for later this afternoon. So the breakdown here today, once again, I'll go ahead and wrap this up for you so you guys can get on with your day. Again, is going to be how this is going to play out here for this afternoon. So we go back out here to day one. Again, that's our big area, again, from New York, Vermont, all the way back down here toward Texas. And the big major threat today is going to be those winds, especially the areas there across Kentucky as those storms get flared up into the evening hours. Looks like after 6 o'clock or so, or between about 4 o'clock, I say between 4 and 9 o'clock. That's probably the window there for this. So we're talking Lexington, we're talking Nashville, we're talking Huntsville, we're talking Birmingham, back over to Columbus, Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, heading over toward Alexandria, Mississippi, Monroe, Louisiana, and then Huntsville, Texas, back to Austin and San Antonio. So those are areas that are going to be under the gun here for today. Again, I appreciate you guys checking out the update here for this morning. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so at this time. It'd be nice to have you on board here as part of the Weather Nerds community. Otherwise, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you a little bit later.